So I don't see any red here. So I'm going to, and when I asked you how you felt about red, you said you don't like reds that go toward the purple side of things. So that makes me think you're probably not so interested in like a burgundy like that.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. And also when we had this conversation, and when I just called this burgundy, you said you don't know what colors are called. And I love that you said that, because I have gotten involved with many people doing this work where it stops us what the color is called. It really doesn't matter what a color is called, especially because colors change, which is that relationship piece. We can have a color that when we put something else with it, it looks disgusting. And take that one away and put something else with it, and it looks beautiful. And when it looked disgusting, it looked like muddy brown. And when it looks beautiful, it's purple. So they change and morph depending on what we put with them. And so someone will say to this gray, and this will happen as we go, is that blue or is that green? And my answer is yes. Maybe blue there, maybe green there. And I personally prefer colors that, I don't know, it changes all the time. So, and those to me are the colors that have more depth. So we know we're not going in that direction. So I'm not even going to show you all of these here because I already know you're not going to like them. But how does that feel to you?
It looks better.
Do you love it, or it's just sort of
When you hold it next to the lighter tile, it looks the best.
Mm-hmm.
When you hold it next to some of the other things,
not so much.
Not so much.
Okay. But could you see this being in your home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like that one better than the last one?
Of the three, that was I still like that third one, I think, better than
this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why.
And then the colors that I start with us building the palette are going to be colors that dominate and influence other colors most. Okay. So I'm kind of starting with what I would consider to be our primary and secondary colors. And then after we come up with those primary and secondary colors, then you'll see it's just a mash of neutrals. And it's those neutrals that kind of act as the glue. And it's those neutrals that I also know are most likely going to be your paint colors. Because I don't necessarily think you're going to have this red as a paint. But maybe that's going to be in your rug.
Okay.
And how does this color feel to you? There's going to be a lot of variety in these blues in terms of lights and darks. You don't need to worry about that. I just want you, each one in isolation, react to it.
Yeah, I like that. A little bit less so. Yeah, I like that.
So then, I heard that you liked these three the best. These ones were the kind of mediocre. So obviously, this one, and what's nice about the ones you liked the best is that we have kind of a dark, a mid, and a light. I love what it's doing over in here with the tile, so that it's a bit more neutral, which I think is also valuable. And now I'm going to go toward greens. And some of them will look green and some are going to look pretty neutral.
It's very similar to the color that's already up there. Just slightly lighter. I'd almost call that color blue, not green.
Mm-hmm. I think that's beautiful with what it does with everything else.
That second one is the one I like. That
Mm-hmm.
one. The one you had, yeah.
So now, before we get into the real neutrals, I asked you how you felt about yellow.
Look and talk at him, Emily.
Yep. I asked you how you felt about yellow, and your response was great. That you like it when it's kind of soft and natural, and that's the thing. Yellow is one of the hardest colors because it's so reflective. People don't understand that when a yellow is in a complete room, how strong it can be because of its reflective quality. The other thing with us becoming more aware of what's good for the earth and using more and more compact fluorescent light bulbs in our homes to save energy, I would argue that those compact fluorescent light bulbs, while they may be helping us in terms of electricity, which is an energy that we quantify at this point in our lives, I believe that fluorescent lights and what they do energetically to us inside in our interior spaces is not good for us energetically. And where that plays out more than anywhere else is with yellows and greens. And so we have a bunch of fluorescent light fixtures in here. And so when fluorescent lights play with yellow and green, they produce a quality that I've coined the very, very scientific term of twangy. It gives this kind of feeling that I don't like. But we're going to go through, and so I have a stack here that some I know are going to be more twangy than others because of the fluorescence. If you are a person in your home who is very committed to using compact fluorescent light bulbs, I would say we probably don't want to use many of these colors at all ever. Okay. So that's the part of the spectrum that it affects. Is there a color that you thought would be in your home that you're not seeing enough of or present at all?
No, I think that looks pretty good.
Okay.
What I'm looking at right now.
What I've learned in doing this work with so many people, I've probably done color consultations with close to 1,000 people, if not more than 1,000, is that what's so difficult for people is the paradigm, the way that they look at color. I've had people say things to me like, well, this room is just so hard because the light in here, it changes all the time. And I want to laugh and say, yes, that's every room, that's everywhere we go. Color is light. It's light reflected back at us. And so I look at color through a physics lens. I'm looking at it in terms of light and how light works and how light helps each other work and how that influences the end feeling of a space. Most people look at color as a static item. We can't. We have to look at it in relationship to other things and understand how it changes and influences each other.